like, how did like home birth come across like your radar? What was that? What made you like get into that, or like how was that? Like, how did you land on that?
Well, I was super blessed. I went to school. I went to middle school and high school with a girl who went from, we all went to art school, and she played like bass, but like classically trained.
Wow.
And then out of high school, went and became a midwife. Like, and we were super close. And I think out of high school, we got even closer. Like, her partner at the time is one of my best friends. We would always be together. And I always remember telling her, like, I'm meant to be a mom. I'm meant to be a mom. I want to have kids. And when I have kids, I want you to deliver my babies. Um, and one of my best friends had got pregnant before me, and I tried to like sync them up, but because of where, you know, the location, it was easier for her to find a midwife in the area we live in.
Mm-hmm.
The girl is a midwife where I'm from.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, well, you know, we're a step closer. Like, this is my best friend. Next, it gotta be me.
Right.
And I planned my pregnancy. I was just like, hey, like, I have the rest of the year off.
Mm-hmm.
I know who could potentially be a really
Such
cool
a
dad.
Taurus thing. Damn.
Because my life has always been like album tour, album tour, album tour. I've never had time off. And for some reason, my manager was like, yo, like, you have the rest of the year off. Like, you should just get it cracking. Like, take a vacation or something. And I was like, I know what type of cracking I'm about to get it. I want to have my baby because I always wanted to have a baby before I was 25. My mom had me when she was 24. Like, it just felt like the time to do so. So I went about it, and from the jump, I knew who my midwife was. Her name is Sumi. She's actually really dope because she has a program where she does online midwifery, or at least doula training. So if anybody's interested in being a doula, first of all, the difference between a doula and a midwife is a doula's like your birth assistant, their team birthing person, like whatever you need, they get it done. Support mentally, spiritually, physically, they can do that. The midwife is like the doctor, so they can do all the like, you know, medical related stuff besides administer drugs. Yeah, Sumi's Touch, that's my midwife. But yeah, so luckily I found her, and she teaches an online doula class. So if any of y'all are interested in doing that, I think it's really important that in our communities we have more of those in every single city, because I know that a lot of people are looking into that, especially right now, not knowing what's up with this quarantine situation. I had a lot of young pregnant people reach out to me like, yo, like what do I do? Like, I'm scared of the hospital right now. Like, I don't even know if they're gonna give me the attention that I need right now, let alone were they gonna give it to me beforehand. But now, especially because, you know, we're in a quarantine. So I think now more than ever, just the support we're gonna need to lean on each other in the birthing community, in the birth work community, in the young mom, young dad, young parent community. Like, we have to be stronger than ever, because we might really have to be about this home birth life around the clock.
Yeah. No, for sure. And that's I mean, that's a huge part of why I even like started this whole initiative of like live streaming my birth, and like, you know, trying to and raising money for birth workers and midwives and doulas, because one, because I've experienced it like before this, and two, like I've just been thinking about our sisters so heavily during this time, like how, you know, all the variables, like how it feels to be a first-time mom and having a baby in a hospital. And then some hospitals, like, you know, I live in New York, and you know, there was a time where once this all like started, they're like, you can't have anybody in the room with you. You know, they've changed it now where you can have one partner, but even that is like, you know, it's not, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So just like, you know, they've been on my sisters have been on my mind a lot. So just like, you know, trying to figure out a way where I can you know, I can support the best way possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's crazy.
Well, you deciding to live stream your birth is pretty epic, because You better than me. I was too loud, too crazy. I was like, I'm a tourist. Like, I'm about to be calm and shit. I don't even raise my voice. I know. I kept watching all these like epic birth videos of like moms just like zenning it the fuck out and then being like, ooh, ah. Me? I was losing it. I was fucking losing it. I was like,
That's funny. Were you like, because I kind of instinctively knew, like, because you know, you hear people about like making playlists and all this stuff, and I knew like I wasn't gonna be able to listen to nothing. I was like,
yeah,
pretty
no.
quiet my birth, because I was just like focused. I was like repeating my mantra, and I did not want to hear anybody speak. Like,
Oh yeah, I told everyone to shut the fuck up, but there was
yeah,
been moments where I needed somebody to let me know that everything was normal.
yeah.
I was like, my asshole kind of feels like it's ripping apart. This regular, like, I'm supposed to feel this in my asshole? Like, they was like, yeah, like everybody feels it in their asshole. Like, you're doing good. Like, don't worry, your asshole's still intact. I was like, are you sure? Because it kind of feel
This
like
don't feel like the asshole I'm used to.
First of all, why don't they tell nobody that it's all about the asshole? We didn't learn this part.
No,
I was not warned.
no, it's nah. That was crazy. That's funny. Yeah, but this time I'm like, I'm wondering. I don't know. I feel I'm. We gonna have to check back in, because I'm interested to see, like, to compare, and like, because I feel like now I might be able to hear something. Like, I might be able to like listen to something, or like, you know, like, it's a whole different feeling. I feel like he's gonna come a lot quicker. But your labor was quick.
Oh, it was quick as hell. So I'm hoping that the next time it's even freakishly faster. But
Girl, you're blessed.
my mom had spontaneous birth syndrome. So she would have no idea she was in labor. And all of a sudden it's like, boom, she's crowning. Like,
Wow.
no idea.
For
So
all your siblings, for all of y'all?
yeah, it's freaky. But we were all like also like premature and like all type of issue birth related, but she would have no idea what was going on, and then all of a sudden she'd be in mid labor. So
Wow, that's a trip. That's a trip. Girl, my labor was like 20 hours long.
I just, God bless the long labors. Like, I'm telling you, my midwife, her client before me, and I was at her house when I gave birth because I was staying there for the last like couple weeks of my pregnancy. And she was gone for like 3 days. She came back. She said, "Yeah, my girl was in labor for 3-4 days." Like, I'm like, why you had to come home and say that? Because
Yeah.
what if I'm in labor for 3 or 4 days and I was in labor for 5.5 hours?
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
quick, but
That's
I felt like it was never gonna end.
Yeah, no, it's the time goes by the slowest that it's ever gone by in your whole entire life.
Were
It's
were you overdue? Were you on time? Like, how were you with your due date with Nomi?
I was like, her due date was April 26th, and she came April 27th.
Okay.
And my birthday is April 28th, and she came 9 minutes before my birthday.
That's
Um,
crazy.
I know. So she was like, but on her due date, I was like, I'm ready. Like, let's get it popping. Like, I I was working. Mela, you know, you're
Mm-hmm.
good friends with Mela. I interviewed Mela. She had Amethyst. I was with them like on my due date. I left them. It was a beautiful day. I met up with my best friend. We walked around New York, all over. I went and had like a half a cup of glass of wine. We went and got foot massages, because I'm like, okay, we need to like work these little acupuncture pressure. Had spicy Thai food.
What's happening?
I'm
Oh, Okay, you're good. You're good. You're back.
Okay. Had some spicy Thai food and like that night. Yep.
And we
Like
did
3
the
a.m.
same shit.
I know.
I was 4 days overdue though, and every single day I was just like, this can't be happening. Like pregnancy starts to feel so long towards the end that I just was like, I refuse to accept this. You're being evicted. You have to go. Like you have to get. I'm tired of sharing my body. I think that you also get this. You should feel so blessed and all these things, these feelings projected onto you that when you as a woman, as the person carrying, or you as the person carrying the baby, you get to that point where like you want to complain, you want to have the space to complain. You have to make sure that you're around people who aren't gonna just like project the like, but you should be glowing and like look at life. You're just, I'm like, bro, I'm 4 days overdue. I feel like a whale. Like all I can do is lay here. Like I can't even roll over. Walk into the bathroom sucks. Like I have to walk to the bathroom every 5 minutes. But the day that I finally like surrendered and was like, all right, fuck it. Like I'm not gonna like do too much. I'm not gonna like sit on YouTube all day looking up how to get how to start labor without castor oil every day, and I just got some spicy ass Thai food and had my mom come give me a foot massage, and she came that night. So, but I remember actively being like, okay, fuck it. Like whenever you come, it's your world. Like whenever you decide to come, you're gonna come. And she came 4 hours later. So,
wow, that's what's up. And okay, let me see. We have some questions. I'm gonna look at these questions and see what people's talking about. Let's see. Hold on, there's some like small text.
right, it's so teeny.
Did you guys?
Oh, I see that someone said. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I see someone said glass of water she means instead of glass of wine. And I think that is really important that people know that there is hella rumors and bad, like just false information around births that are like, or around pregnancy that are like super, what is it called? Like straight edge. That's just, pregnant women can absolutely have glasses of, they can have one glass of wine, a half a glass of wine, maybe once a month. Like it's actually great. Please go enjoy a glass of wine. You can get in a hot bath. Like
you can have salmon.
You can have fish. Yeah. Like I had oysters. Okay. Like I was getting it off. All right. Like, so the Mythbusters.
It's about, and it's also about like what you're comfortable with. Like, you know, like, you know, like, cause the whole time I was being pretty straight edge. I mean, I had some oysters, but I didn't have anything. And then on her birthday, I'm like, okay, I'm having half a glass of wine. Like, I don't care. Like, this is not going to be, I've been doing all the holistic things. Was home birth expensive? I mean, it's not cheap for sure, but for me, I was able to get like a portion of it paid through my insurance, and then and I know that's like possible for some midwives, and then also like I think there's some midwives work on sliding scales, and I think like if that's something that you're really interested in, like do your research and try to like I think the consensus is that birth workers want to make it, you know, they want to make it happen.
Yeah.
I feel okay. Let me see a question for you. How long did you keep your baby's umbilical cord attached?
I'm pretty sure we left her on there for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Because I wanted her to get as much as possible, but I also knew that I wanted to be able to utilize the placenta for myself, because that was a big deal to me. I was like, yo, my body made an organ, bro. Like my body made an organ. I'm gonna let her rock. I kind of let it rock out until the cord got a little clammy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had like this really amazing like obsidian knife that they like prayed
Yeah.
over, and just like it was epic. It was super epic. But I had a stew the first night with some placenta in it, and
Okay.
then we grinded them and made ice cubes, and then I had smoothies for like the next week, the next 2 weeks.
How did that because I had mine encapsulated and I was just like all like ready for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had them encapsulated. And then when I went to go take them like the first couple times, it made me feel crazy. Like I felt,
Really?
yeah, girl. Like I wanted to be so down and I just couldn't. It was too strong. Like
What kind of crazy did it make you feel?
it made me feel like I can't even, it was just like a whole nother like level of emotional and like, girl, I was like, nah, this isn't, I'd rather just be like natural. Like it made me feel nuts.
Wow. I
I
felt
know.
like it was the opposite for me. I feel like I was noticeably like tired and sluggish and a little stressed. And then I got my placenta and I was like, I felt like kind of like a little superwomanish.
Mm-hmm.
But I also like my skin had never looked better than postpartum, the 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
post, like that 2 weeks postpartum period. My skin never looked better, like my hair never looked better, like I was breaking out towards the end of my pregnancy. All that cleared up instantly. Like, um, so I don't know. I feel like it did what it was supposed to do
Oh,
on
good.
this side, but I definitely like I plan to do a quarantena, which is like the 6 week in the crib traditional. Like you can't even leave your bed.
Oh,
Like,
like the loaded, like when the placenta, the when it's still attached to the baby. Is that what you're talking about?
oh
Or
wait,
what
this
you?
is good. This is a good question. I'm gonna screenshot it in case I'm gonna leave it. No, I'm saying there's so in a lot of cultures they have the quarantena, which is funny. It's the quarantine, which a lot of women do after birth, where they literally stay in the place they gave birth for 6 weeks.
Oh, right. Yep.
So
Yep.
I planned that, but by week 2, I was like, I have to fucking walk outside. I have to go outside. I need to like leave this room. I need to get in my car. I need to drive somewhere. Like as soon as
Yeah.
my vagina felt kind of normal, I was like, I have to do something. Like I have to.
Word.
So and then I got my stuff and went back to LA, and I left my placenta. But this is a good question. It says, how do you know if there are complications at home? My son was too big and they ended up having to do a horizontal incision and pull him out. Shoulders too broad. How would that be handled at home? Um, Midwives kind of will always recommend that wherever you birth is in close proximity to a hospital. And if there are emergencies, then you call 911 or you drive to a hospital. But midwives have enough tools to be able to tell you in the event that something's going on. They have some of them have ultrasound machines. They have
Doppler, Dopplers.
Dopplers. They have a heart rate monitor. They have they're gonna check everything with their hands. If if your uterus is feeling, I don't know, the shape is weird or anything like that, they'll be able to tell you and hopefully prepare you in case you need to go to a hospital. But you should be fairly close to a hospital when deciding for a home birth. They also have birth centers, um, what you can do, which is just kind of like a cool little birth hotel, I think. But yeah, I think it's just preparing for the possibility that anything could go down. Anything could go down at a hospital too. So
Right. And and you like, you when you talk to midwives, like 95% of the time, like there's enough time.
right,
It's not like a rush situation. Like there's
right,
like time and you can prepare and then like get to the hospital in time. So
right.
that that,
You
that
have
was
like
good.
a bag packed and just be on standby, ready to go. So yeah.
Yep. Yep. Let me see what else. Dang, there's a lot of questions in here. Do, do, do.
Someone said there's a lot of Does a lot of planning go into home birth? Yeah. I think bringing a child into the world any type of way involves a lot of planning, but I think you do have to like you have to like buy at least you have to buy like you have to have like towels and the tub if you're gonna do the tub. And I mean, I personally know women who do or people who do unassisted births. Like sometimes they're like, I actually don't want anybody here and I want to do it myself. Like at the end of the day, it's your body and like you can do it however you want to do it. I think as long as you feel like you have enough information and you have people on standby that you feel comfortable in case of emergencies, like you know, I don't think you'll ever be fully prepared. Nothing can adequately prepare you for that.
No.
Nothing.
Nah. I watched so many like birth videos, like for both pregnancies, because I just like, especially the first one, I became kind of obsessed, and it still was like
nothing on earth. Nothing we say right now.
right.
It can make you decide maybe where you want to do it, but you'll still be like, oh, this is what they're talking about. Wow. Oh, this is a good one.
What?
How can white folks best center people of color in birth work while also still supporting or engaging in it?
How can they best what? What is
center and assist?
I think it's, in my opinion, I mean, oh, that's a good one. I think it's like knowing that there are things that you just can't do because you know that as far as like like some women like me, like I actively sought out a Black midwife because that is like that's what I needed, that's what I wanted. And in that case, like there's nothing like a white midwife could have done for me in that situation. Like that's just what it is. But I think supporting your fellow sisters, especially Black and brown women, people of color who are in the birth world, and like advocating and yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that there's ways to support if it's you see young, women of color talking about it. Maybe you go ahead and help them research, like help them connect to birth workers, help them find the information. If you are able to assist financially, that's great too. If you're able to potentially donate to your local birthing center, like I feel like there's a lot of just opportunities for anybody to assist the birthing community, but especially I think with this is also if you're noticing mistreatment of Black and brown people in the hospital, say you work at the hospital, you're noticing somebody's giving birth and it's not going well, speak up and bring up the statistics. But I think it's just really being about it. It's not just like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you and like I hope you have, I hope this gets better, but like, how really can I assist you as someone who, if I'm seeming to really care about this and in a way that isn't invasive and I'm not taking up space.
Right.
So,
yep, that's a good one. Someone asked, did you have cravings during your pregnancy?
I was vegan. I was vegan before I got pregnant. And then I got pregnant. And my belly said, carne asada. Every day. Not every day through the entire time, but like at some point in my second trimester, like I just wanted steak covered in lime juice. That's it. Like
my doula's in here. Hey Nadine, she said white birth workers can suggest Black and POC providers, childbirth educators. They can also have Black POC backup doulas.
Very, very comfortable.
Word. Yeah, this pregnancy it's been cheeseburgers, and I don't even like I eat red meat, but not like this. Like, girl, I'm the cheeseburger kid these days. Like, it's messed up.
Okay, question. Let's talk. They said let's talk about breastfeeding.
Ooh, that's another one I feel like I was not adequately prepared or equipped for.
Me neither.
I feel like my mom was like, it's like needles, like, but she didn't really go into it. My mom was 21 when she had, or she had just turned 22 when she had me, and there was a lot she didn't know. She did kind of warn me, but it's not only the nipples and the needles, it's the contractions.
Ooh,
It's
the engorgement, the letdown.
Ooh, ooh.
At some point I said, this might be worse. This
Yeah.
might be worse. But I think that if it's important to also know that you can reach out to a hospital and that they have what is it? Yeah,
The
lactation consultants. I didn't even know that existed. So knowing that lactation consultants exist is tight because I couldn't get a latch at all. So I had a lactation consultant that my midwife knew, and she brought her over, and she was super awesome. She was just like, like most things we know about breastfeeding is not true. You know what I'm saying? Like if you like your body's gonna make what the baby needs. There's no like super wrong way to go about it. You just gotta keep trying. Like you don't have to pump so much. Like you need to just let the baby tell your body. Like so many things that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it was painful, and my breast had got so large when I was pregnant. Like there's a picture of me mid labor, and my boobs look bigger than my belly. And it was so many, and I kept having these thoughts like, I'm gonna squish you while I'm trying to like get this in your mouth. But I didn't last as long as I wanted to breastfeeding. I actually took her to the pediatrician, and he was like, I'm super pro breastfeeding, and like he's a holistic pediatrician, and he was like, yeah, but like your baby needs some help. Your baby needs some love. So I found this like goat milk formula that's super close to breastfeeding, but sometimes I do like wish that I had lasted longer because I missed that. It was such a cool experience just witnessing me being able to like feed a human being out of my body.
How long did you breastfeed her for?
I only lasted a month and a half before like I literally started drying up like crazy, and I couldn't get more than like an ounce. It was crazy to me.
Yeah.
And I was eating all the cookies and like taking all the lactation, like what is it, fenugreek? Is that like the pill, like the herb?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Taking all these herbs, and but I really feel like I was just in a stressed environment. I had just became a single mom, so like just being super stressed out, I think affected my ability to like produce a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice. I feel like did you not, you breastfed for a while, right?
Girl, 14 months, girl.
Woo, shit.
14 months. What do you call it? Like on demand. Like she didn't even take a bottle. So that was a really good learning curve for me, because this baby boy, we gonna get a bottle involved, because I like having that freedom, and obviously I still want to breastfeed and like, establish that like breastfeeding relationship, but nah. About the third, fourth week into it, we're gonna just like start sneaking a little bottle in there every now and again, because with a toddler and this, and just like, nah. Yeah, girl.
Oh, 202. That's about to be a whole nother world. Like, how do you feel like you're preparing? Like,
I'm not, girl. Girl,
have you
I
been like,
already know I'm in for, how like you can't prepare for like birth or anything. Like, I
yeah,
feel like this is one of those things that I'm so naive, like in it. Like I already know. I have no idea what the fuck is about to happen. Like
have you guys
I have no
like,
idea.
have you
Like,
guys been like talking, know me through it? Like, what was that conversation like on some like, yo, you're about to have another like, there's be another tiny small life around that's gonna be smaller than you.
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, like, I tell her it's her baby, and like, you know,
Mm.
I'm letting her know like your baby's coming. And I've even, because I want, you know, depending on the time when he decides to come, like if she's up, I want to incorporate her into, like, you know, the birth. So I even,
Oh,
girl, I showed her a home birth on YouTube, just trying to, like, you know, ease her in and just like show her like what, you know, let her hear the sounds and let her know what's going on. Girl, she was shook. I'm like, all right, you want to watch Elmo? Like, she was like, you know, so she, I think it's like probably like most like children, you know, I think it's gonna be exciting, but there's gonna definitely be that like jealousy. And
yeah.
you know, and it's also my girlfriend who has two children who I think are like 2 or 3 years apart. She gave me some advice, and she was like, you know, if Nomi wants to be picked up, pick Nomi, like put the baby down and pick Nomi up, because the baby won't really know that, you know, like you
Right.
can hand the baby off, but like when Nomi is gonna know, and like you have to like give her that
Mm.
like extra care, and like those, yeah, just like she
Wow.
also told me like get a little gift, you know, like have a gift, and when the baby comes, get like tell Nomi that the baby gave her this gift. So like
Aw.
little things like that, where I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like we're gonna try to like bribe her into liking this
I've
baby.
never heard of those methods, and that makes so much sense.
Yeah. So
Wow.
somebody says, can you speak on child rearing without heavily enforcing gender norms like binary pronouns?
Mm, I think that, I mean, I didn't do a gender reveal.
Okay.
Um,
Me
I'm not
either.
into gender reveals. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's enforcing like the color thing and like the masculine feminine thing. I think that referring to your baby as he or she based on the sex that you receive, I think that it's just so implemented in like how we've always been that I don't think I would go out of my way initially to start from the jump with they.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I would have a hard time at first. But
Yeah.
if in the event that my child ever at any moment says to me what they decide they want to be, then it's, you know,
Yeah.
it's all up
Yeah.
instantly. But I think that you shouldn't gender clothing, you shouldn't gender toys, you shouldn't gender colors, and I think that that goes without saying, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, know me, I mean, Nomi looks like a boy still.
I
Like
people always call
I'ma
Idea a
just
boy. I'm
keep it a
like,
buck. Like she
he's
really don't have
awesome.
that much hair. Like, and we don't, like, to your point, like we don't dress her up in a whole bunch of pink stuff. It's no princesses over here. It's like very
Right.
neutral, like, which is great because like her and her brother are gonna be able to like really share clothes and have a lot of hand me downs. But yeah, we and you know, I kind of feel like it's kind of the same. Like I thought I would feel like a lot different having a boy, you know, but like I don't
He's
really.
just a
It's
healthy
like,
baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's very much the same. Um, well, what else? I don't know.
I do think energetically babies be hella different. Like my friend's little boy is so turned up. He's jumping off the walls. And our day is so like, ooh, relax, like calm it down. But that could also be astrologically
Yeah.
different.
When's her
Um
birthday?
her birthday's March 23rd.
Oh, she just had her birthday. Oh yeah, that's right. I
Mhm.
saw the photos. Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah. I think all of us was dressed in boy clothes when we was little.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody thought I was a boy. People always
oh yeah.
compliment Adea and say he's so cute. So
Oh yeah. And I just let it rock too. Like it's no, like I don't even be like, oh no, it's a girl. You know, like I'm like, yeah, isn't he? Not like he going along with it. Um My kids are 5 and 4.
I love your
We have been.
doula. This your midwife, right? Saying this?
Oh no, this my doula.
Your doula's
Oh
awesome.
well, the doula for all.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Did you experience postpartum depression? That's a question they asked.
I definitely got like little baby blues, but not. I wouldn't. What I experienced, I wouldn't call it like postpartum depression, because I've experienced depression, and like depression was like way deeper and tougher. But definitely like the hormones are real, and just like also that feeling of like, you know, and I have a husband and like a very supportive partner, and I even then like felt like so alone at times, and also just like a little, kind of like a little bitter, you know. And I had to really work that out, because I was like, I'm the one who has to go through this, you
Right.
know, and like
Right.
this is like the baby relies on me, and like, you know, all these things that I had to like really talk about him with, and like get him to understand like you know, this is how I feel, this is what I'm going through, like I need you to be patient with me, I need you to like be super sensitive and caring, um and yeah, and just, but I think like also having that support, like my mom was around for like the first 2 months, like really hands on, and just like, and I think that's something that like really for me like taught me, like, so now when my close home girls like are pregnant, like that is something that I know that I can offer, like just that being that support
Yeah.
postpartum, because
Yeah.
that having your tribe and having your people like there for you, like whether it's cooking a meal or just like checking in and just like
Mm-hmm.
certain things, like you need that, like you need those arms around you, you
Right.
cannot do it by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big part of it in general, is if you're the type of person who's like very independent or very like headstrong, is realizing that this is something that you've never done before. So no matter how independent that you've been and like how headstrong you've been and been able to support yourself through your entire life, like as a first time mom,
Mm-hmm.
it was realizing like, oh, I've never done this. Like I need to accept. I need to ask for help, and I think it was having people, just even if it was coming in to cook a meal. Like you don't realize how much of you is required until the baby actually comes, and you realize every second, especially in that first couple of weeks and that first couple of months, really, because you're learning until you get this rhythm with the baby to where you're like, oh, I know what this cry means, and I know that around this time you take your nap, and I know that around this time you kind of require this. Like it can get, there was moments where she's crying, I'm crying, we were looking at each other, and I was like, I don't know what to do. Like you won't stop crying, I'm not making enough, like I don't know what to do, there's no one in this room with me, like no one can pick her up. Like it's about stepping at this, letting people know that you need that, and having people around who are prepared to do that and not watch you freak out, you
Right.
know, and not have any just unnecessary just bodies around that's gonna just like watch you struggle, because you're going to need a lot of assistance. So
Yeah. Yeah. This is a really good one. My home birth was transferred very unexpectedly due to severe eclampsia. Was in labor for 3 nights and had to have an emergency C-section. I'm still heartbroken. Any advice for healing from this? And I had just gone live last week with Latham Thomas, who's a doula and just like an incredible like OG, like just maverick in her field. But she had talked about, you know, kind of like grieving, you know, like your excuse me, grieving just your ideas of like, you know, of your birth plan, and like,
Yeah.
you know, allowing time, you know, if like you were set on a home birth and then you like this person said, like, and then had to have a C-section, that is like, I think you need to like really have a moment and like grieve that, and like
Mm-hmm.
allow yourself to grieve, like have that time and that space. I think that's super important, and I think that there are people like doulas or like postpartum doulas who can help you with that for sure.
Yeah. 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 I think it's just also, it's just accepting that any plan when it comes to birth can go not as you expected. You know, it isn't something that personally just happened to you. It isn't something that, like, it wasn't punishment, it wasn't anything you did, it wasn't some karmic thing. Like, so many people make plans and they don't go how they plan it with birth. Like, babies come how they want to come, how they need to come. So I think
Yeah.
it's just sitting with that and accepting that, like, either way my baby got here,
Yeah.
and they had to get here exactly how they had to get here, no matter what the case was. And, you know, that baby didn't make a mistake with how they got here. That baby's perfect. So, yeah, I think, like she said, giving yourself that time and that space. And I'm sure there's actually a lot of really dope, like, I've noticed just communities of people that always talk about this, whether it's on like the dope like home birth pages or just like birthing community pages. There's always a lot of like women in the comments with stories, and I feel like maybe being able to share stories with people who like understand and have been through it, you know, community is always helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I don't know how, like, I feel like, I know we can only like go live for 1 hour and then it cuts off. It like never like tells you how long you can go for.
Yeah,
Um,
I have no idea either. I mean, I think if you try clicking the live button at the top of your thing.
oh, cute. Oh, perfect. Smart. Yeah, okay, so we have like 15 minutes. Can you talk about career duties and motherhood? And shout out to Art Mom Project.
Love our mom project.
Yes, Tyra. Can you guys talk about career duties and motherhood? Yeah. You want to start that one off? Okay.
Sure. I mean, it was hard, especially at first when I was breastfeeding and breastfeeding on demand, being at the studio. Because for me, the studio requires so much. It requires like me playing, first of all, really loud music, and then like having to walk around. I write for myself, so I'm walking around thinking, and then I have to like go in the booth, and sometimes I'm there for like 23 hours. So having this tiny baby, I couldn't play loud music, and I couldn't really like just focus. I had to be with the baby, but um I think it was almost really beautiful for me because it slowed me down in times when I didn't really know how to relax, or I didn't know how to like let myself take a breather. I was just working and working and working and working. um she kind of allowed me to like sit back and like, you know, relax on that. But I think it's hard for anybody with any kind of job, because you know you go from have being able to go to work and like focus on work, and then like go home and be able to have your self-care time, your time to decompress. And when you have a baby, both those times become about, you know, that split with your time and the baby. So I remember like trying to figure out like, when is the next time I'm going to be able to do my full skin routine, and like when is the next time I'm going to be able to like take a bath, not take like these quick teeny showers with like her sitting, me having to like I hear her and I'm okay, I'm getting out the shower. I know I only washed one leg, but like I'm coming. Like, so I think just figuring out how to like not feel bad for like having those moments when you ask for help, because that was my biggest thing with delegating the time in the career. Like being able to be like, you know what, like it doesn't make me any less of a mom to ask if someone can hold her while I take a shower. It doesn't make
Oh,
me any less of a mom if I put on Elmo on repeat and like put her in her little thing that moves like this while I just take a second to chew my food,
yeah.
you know? So, and then my little sister moved in and she was like super, super helpful and came to the studio with me. And when like I have so many pictures and videos of me at the studio with like the baby carrier on and like the tiny headphones, and it was tough, but now I think we got a cool little like system worked out. So
Yeah. And like along with what you said, just asking for help, and then also, you know, whatever your situation is, like I have a husband, and he was like full, you know, because I wasn't working how I really would have been working like after the baby was born, so he was like going super hard. But then there was a time where I kind of had to just like demand that time, you know, and like I know not everybody has that, but if there is somebody where you're just like, look, I need this time, like I need to walk around the block by myself, you
hell
know, and like
yeah.
just taking just not, you know, because I've had homegirls who like have 4-year-olds and haven't really had like a night alone, you
Yeah.
know, and just like and that's real, and that's like real life for a lot of people. And I think you know, if you can like somehow, like if there's a grandma or a mom or, you know, somebody that you trust, and just like really trying to make that time for yourself, I think it's so important, because like you cannot pour from an empty cup, and
Yeah.
you need to you are a human too. Like you
Yeah.
have needs and wants and like desires, and you know, and you have to find, it's a different life, but that doesn't mean that you just are in the shadows now, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like
You're still a human. And I don't think that I love this quote, and it's that babies don't need perfect parents, they need happy parents. Um,
mhm,
so like I just speaking from experience, I was going through a breakup, a crazy split up 2 weeks postpartum. So it was like I was dealing with just like crazy, crazy shit. And it was just these moments where I was like, is this making me a bad mom? Because I'm crying, but like I'm holding her, but like and it was like, no, like at the end of the day, she needs me to get over this so that I can teach her how to smile, you know, and I can teach her how to laugh, and we can enjoy those
mhm,
moments. But if I focus on just like not showing any emotion, not sitting with this and not getting through this, and I suppress it and I suppress it, then my baby's going to learn how to suppress.
yeah,
So, you know, carving out time for that, and like letting yourself be the how you would respond to your friends in those moments.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think.
yeah. And if you're not a mom, and if, you know, who are like, if you're not a parent, like maybe you can, and you're listening to this conversation, maybe this is you know, a time where like you can be a better friend for somebody in
Yeah.
need, you know, and like, or even if you are a parent, or like, you know, if you know somebody or have somebody who's close to you who just had a baby or is about to have a baby, like understand, like, yeah, of course, like money is nice and can be helpful, and like the cute outfits, like
Yeah.
please don't get all the baby like shoes if they're not walking yet, because
The baby doesn't need
because
Gucci. It's not gonna
the
fit
baby
next
doesn't
week.
need the Gucci shoes at 4 months. But like, you know, if you can offer your time, you know, or
Please,
like,
yeah.
you know, just like be like, look, I don't have that much time. I have an hour to give you, but like I could come through, and like you could, you know, shower, or you could
Hmm.
take a walk around the block, or like, girl, I remember having a week where like I had one toenail polish, one foot with the toenail polish on and one with the toenail polish off, because I just didn't have time to like take the other toenail polish off.
Right.
Like it was crazy. I was looking wild.
That's a
Um,
good like baby shower gift. Like someone should make flashcards, and it's like you can turn in like come make me a meal, or like
right.
like come
Yeah.
sit and like hold her while I like take a bath. Like that is when I came home and I unwrapped all the baby shower stuff, I didn't touch a lot of it for a very long time, but I ended up needing so many of my friends for like actual physical stuff that I'm like, wow, this stuff is actually free. Like
Yeah.
your gift costs you money, but what I really need right now is somebody to come change a diaper while I wash the bottle machine. And
Yeah.
then maybe somebody can wash the bottles while I take a shit. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Babysitting, important.
It's very important.
Mommy sitting at this point.
Right. Let me see. Um, this isn't a question, but pregnancy sounds so scary. Were you scared?
I wasn't scared. It was so cool to me. Like, I've always been kind of obsessed with birth. Like you did. I was all on all the birth pages, watching all the videos, hitting those little markers. I think were so cool. Like waiting for it. Like, oh, was that a kick, or was that like a blah blah blah? Like, this is it's a noticeable bump difference. Oh, she dropped. Things like that. It wasn't scary. I don't think. I think once I realized I was in labor, it was scary, but not in a fearful way, but more like it's just the unknown. You're just doing something that you've never done before, that you kind of hear about. So it's like this big mystery that you're like, finally. It's like if people talked about going to the moon the whole time, and then like you're finally about to land on the moon. You're like, holy shit, I'm actually about to do what they've been talking about. That was like a mystery to me my whole life, but I knew it was possible. I just haven't done it yet, and I'm about to do it. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think my doula just said it, but I also think it like, not like knowledge knocks out fear. Like, if you do the research and just also just that for me, it was like both pregnancies have been like being mentally prepared, like it was a huge part of it is just being mentally prepared and knowing that my body's capable, knowing that like billions of women have done this before,
and they're doing it every minute, and they're doing it in way more uncomfortable places with way less resources than we are.
Yeah.
I kept thinking about that. I was like, yo, people like way younger than me in other places with I'm in a comfortable, there's people doing it across the world in like just uncomfortable like places, and they give birth all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, yeah. I would be awestruck watching that. Like, I got to give it up to you. I'm about to just take y'all strength and just push it into myself somehow.
Yeah, girl. My like as soon as I had Nomi, I'm like the level. I mean, I already held women to such like put them on a pedestal, but like the level of respect that I have for moms, and this was teen moms, mothers who are on drugs, mothers who don't have permanent house. I mean, like the whole gamut, like every mother, like I don't care what your situation is, like you had a baby,
Right.
and I gotta give it up to you. Now,
Right,
like
because
hopefully you're a good mom and loving, and you're not like abusive and all those things, but at the very like simple core of it, like you had a baby,
right,
and that's
your hip bones moved out the way, your asshole stretched. Give it up. Like,
yeah. Can we give a round of applause for the moms? Yo, let's give y'all a round. Let's give us a round, because that's fucking incredible. Well, we're about to run. We're like 5 minutes and like about to run out of time. And I just wanted to like remind people that I do have like a whole GoFundMe set up for birth workers, for mothers who are seeking like some financial support, whether it's like to get a midwife or a doula. So you can check that out on my page, and really it's like just about these conversations, these open conversations, and spreading knowledge, like giving people options. I think that's important. And like for the people whose questions we didn't answer, I think it's important to ask those questions, like type it into Google, or like like ask those questions and find the answers, because or like hit up somebody. There's so many dope birth pages on Instagram, and people who are willing to talk, and like, I don't know, I love talking about this stuff.
Me too. Hit me up.
I love it. So like, you know, I know that there are other people out there who feel the same. And let me see. Do you see any other questions? There's like a lot in
No,
here.
I just want to say I'm sending you all the love for your birth.
Thank you.
And I'm gonna tune in, and I am excited for you. And I can't wait to hear the experience as a second time home birther. Like just reflecting and the comparing, because you know it's gonna help me heading into my next chapter of my life at some point. So
Yeah, no doubt. And happy birthday.
thank you.
Happy birthday, Kehlani. Hey.
And it's almost your birthday and Nomi's birthday, so I'll be sure to tap back in when it's y'all's.
Chorus gang.
Hey.
And thank you for like being open to like just having this discussion with me. And
for sure.
I know you're a busy woman, and I can't wait to hear more music from you. And I love what you did. I love the DIY moment. Like,
thank you.
That was fab.
I got more where that's coming from.
I'm sending you so much love, sis. Thank you for your time.
I appreciate you for having me. It was really dope. So I hope y'all got any questions you needed answered, and if not, I know we're both here. So
yep. All right. Mwah.
Bye.
Big. Okay. Bye-bye.